Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining our webinar today focused on AMAG's Symmetry Solutions and Services available to our channels and customers. I'm Kim Rayfeld, Director of Media Relations, and I am your host today. Time is flying by and I can't believe it's mid-April already. We are enjoying daffodils and warmer temperatures as it slowly starts to warm up here in the Midwest where I'm located. As the vaccine rolls out, we hope that you, your family and friends, and your coworkers continue to be safe and healthy. We have a lot going on at AMAG, and these webinars provide important updates, drive awareness of AMAG's new symmetry solutions, share best practices, and dive into unique product features that will help you differentiate your company from others when you team up with us. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box and we will address them as soon as we can at the end of the webinar. And we will follow up with those that we didn't get to after the webinar. On today's webinar, we have AMAG Application Engineering Manager and All-Star, Greg McDermott. And I'm excited to announce that we have a guest speaker from Zenitel, Director of Global Strategic Alliances, Kelly Lake. Today, we will be highlighting Zenitel Intelligent Audio Communications and how audio can enhance your security system. I will then provide a brief marketing update on some new audio tools available for you. AMAG has grown beyond access control to transform into a total solution provider focusing on mitigating risk, reducing cost, and ensuring compliance. In our previous webinars, we've introduced what AMAG is doing in different areas of our business beyond access control to help our reseller channel, consultant community, and end users solve problems. AMAG is an end-to-end solutions provider with a robust ecosystem of best-in-breed technology partners that work together to provide a complete solution for you. One of those partners is Zenitel. AMAG resells Zenitel solutions, which you'll see is circle number 7 there on the slide. It's important to understand that audio is more than an intercom at a door or gate. You need to address what type of communication is needed. Is it one-to-one, one-to-many, or one-to-all? We offer solutions to address all three, and Kelly will talk about that in more detail later. You can also reach out to your AMAG salesperson who can help you determine what is needed for you or your customer. Again, I want to remind you that if you have any questions, to please type them into the question box. And now I'll turn it over to Greg McDermott, who will give us an overview of the integration between Symmetry and Zenitel Audio.
Thank you, Kim. So before I begin in going into the integration, the two questions we want to address are A, what do we mean by integration, and and B, why do we want to integrate? So when we say what do we mean by integration, we are typically referring to a software-based integration. So even without any licensing or software-based integration capabilities, we've always had the ability to hit a button on a release button from a master station that would then tie to a request to exit button on Symmetry on their Symmetry panels, and that's something that we have available, across the board. But when we talk about a software integration, we are now bringing a lot more capability, a more robust and more powerful line of integration rather than just simply locking and unlocking a door. Next slide, please. So a large amount of the feature sets that we get with an integration are easy calling, because now rather than relying on just having a master station where I have to type a ID of a substation to call out to it, well, now we can define the stations and associate them with doors so that we can, for example, call out to the specific station by the same name of the reader that is associated with it. Secondly, we can also associate events with alarms through trigger commands. So for example, on a particular alarm, when it comes in, we can automatically initiate a call to a station or to send out a broadcast message and things like that, which that leads to emergency notification. So now the fact that we're tying in our access control events with the ability to give notification out makes a more a much more robust integration capability. We are also now logging the events in the Symmetry database so that you have one source of reporting for both access control and audio. We have device supervision, so we can see the status of devices, and also the ability to see place devices onto a graphical map or floor plan. Next slide, please. So the main page that we have for the purposes of integrations is the intercom screen. The Intercom Screen provides a very easy to use interface that allows us to interface to our stations, so we can call out to the stations, we can answer calls, we can see our call logs, and a lot of other features, including bringing in video associated with the events. Next slide, please. So taking a closer look at the features on the intercom screen, we have a quick filter that allows us to quickly filter based on intercom group. So by grouping our intercoms, we can, for example, very quickly see our intercoms that are associated with a building or a floor. And it doesn't necessarily need to be just location based. We can say, let's look at our external intercoms or things like that. We can create a number of different groups. We can also send out a pre-recorded multicast message to a group. So if we need to do a mass notification, we can do that through this. Next, we have each station is now represented in this screen through the icons that we have here. That gives us the ability to call out to a station, to answer calls. We can mark stations as our favorites so that we can quickly access them. So if I'm an operator in a specific building, maybe I want to mark my stations as favorites so I can quickly see the ones that I use regularly. We can also view cameras from here, as well as grant access to someone at the intercom, grant access to the door where the intercom is located. We also have a search filter at the bottom that lets us type in the name of the intercom or also select what our favorites are and also scroll through various pages of our intercoms. Next slide, please. Also on the screen, we have a call log pane that this gives us the ability to see missed calls. We can initiate a call to them and see like a very an overall brief history of what has happened when it comes to intercom. We can also see the cameras associated with intercoms, both when they call or if prior to answering, we can take a look at the cameras associated. So up to 4 cameras can be associated with the with an individual intercom. It doesn't just need to be the camera that's associated with a video substation. It can be a camera on our integrated NVR. So that we can see live or recorded video and also save a snapshot or bookmark video. Next slide, please. Now, going beyond the capabilities of the intercom screen, we have several other places throughout the software where we can also bring in the audio and then leverage it. So for example, we can place a substation and a master station onto a graphical map. So we can get to a particular floor plan. So maybe we don't necessarily know the name of the station as it appears in Symmetry, but we can access it based on location by right-clicking on the station and clicking connect. We can also connect to and from other master stations. So if we need to call out to another Symmetry operator, we can directly do that through these stations. Next slide, please. The alarm handling screen also brings a number of advantages. So we can associate an intercom substation with a specific alarm event. So we can associate it with a door forced or a duress button. By doing that, we have the options to configure it to either automatically connect when we go to acknowledge an alarm or allow the ability to manually click a connect button to connect out to it. So this allows our operators who are monitoring our alarms to not just see video, but also have a audio method of communicating with those out in the field and near the alarm so that we can converse with those out in the field. Next slide, please. And then finally, we have our identity verification screen. So this is a screen that is designed for a monitored area, such as it can be a gate or it can be a high security door. The way this screen works is that it allows when someone, for example, produces a card, it will show the stored image of the card holder along with the event. So it allows someone to monitor the alarms, make sure that the person who presented the card is the person who is actually using the door. But we can further enhance the screen by adding the audio intercom interface, because now we can talk to the person out there. So if the wrong card is presented, we can call out to that person and choose whether or not we grant or deny permissions. If someone doesn't even present their card and they call in, we can also monitor one screen for both the card swipes and someone calling to gain access. Next slide, please. And with that, I will introduce Kelly Lake, who will be providing an overview on the Zenitel product highlights. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Greg. I appreciate the introduction. Next slide. We're going to take a moment to look at the Zenitel product highlights in a bit more detail now and see how they fit into the Symmetry product portfolio. So as part of the Symmetry Audio product portfolio, there are a handful of ways that audio is commonly installed, addressing both types of communication needs that Kim mentioned earlier, both one-to-one intercom communication and one-to-many public address functionality. Today, video intercom is growing quickly as a preferred way to identify visitors or vendors who are requesting access to restricted areas. Video intercoms combine a voice conversation with video verification and also allow users to observe the surrounding area and verify documents or identification. Zenitel recently launched the new PCIV Plus Turbine Video Intercom Suite, which combines best-in-class audio and video, and we'll look at that product in a bit more detail in a moment. A new touchless sensor enables users to initiate a call without having to physically press the button, reducing the risk for contamination from one caller to the next. As we all know, that's in very high demand right now as customers are trying to provide solutions to protect health and safety. Almost all customers have some need for video intercom capability at common entry points, especially unattended doors and gates. But we should look past the doors and gates as well, because there are a variety of places communication is critical throughout a building or a facility, or even across a campus. Those areas often require stations that are specially designed for emergency communication, like, for example, in blue light stanchions or elevators. Or there might be a need for communication in unique environments, like heavy industrial areas, or healthcare clean room, or isolation spaces. And finally, since all of the Zenitel intercom stations feature a high audio output and extremely clear audio, they can be easily combined with IP speakers and IP horns for public address. This PA capability is often used for general or security messages, to create a voice out to an area perimeter, or to help manage crowded areas or inform people of health and safety policies like mask requirements or social distancing. Next slide. Regardless of how communication devices are deployed or used, the quality of the audio is the #1 determining factor for customer satisfaction and should always be carefully considered. If a communication solution is installed, but the users can't hear, be heard, or be understood every single time, then the investment in the system is wasted. But audio is tricky. A variety of factors like background noise, building architecture, weather, or even the stress level of the caller can impact the ability to understand what's being said. At the heart of the Zenitel product line is the Turbine Intercom series, which is designed specifically to overcome these challenges by automatically adjusting to its surroundings. Active noise reduction software removes background noise and isolates the voice so that the operator can hear the caller clearly. Acoustic echo cancellation allows the stations to work in full open duplex, which simply means both people can talk at the same time. So this is a detail that is often overlooked in intercom communication, but it's really important to making sure the conversation feels natural and both people can be heard. Most intercoms only allow one person to speak at a time. And finally, the turbine line of intercoms have a very strong audio output, as I mentioned. So automatic volume control adapts the volume to the appropriate level, depending on how much noise is in the area. Automatic gain control adjusts the microphone settings to capture the caller's voice most effectively, whether they're close to the station or further away. This is really important in environments where the noise level can vary a lot at different times of day or based on different circumstances, like a bus stop or a train station, or even just the front door that might have traffic nearby. Next slide. We're especially thrilled to introduce the newest addition to the turbine product line, the TCI-V Plus suite of video intercom products, which combines the unrivaled audio features we just talked about with HD video. These stations include new hardware, a powerful new chipset, and expanded memory for faster data processing and increased stability and uptime. And the stations feature a 1.6 megapixel camera, delivering 1080p high definition resolution. The video provides excellent low light and backlight performance and a wide field of view to accommodate callers of any height. The video can be streamed to Complete View or other VMS platforms using OnVIF Profile S. Also included in this product release is the touchless sensor I mentioned earlier, which you see here, which was specifically designed to be powered directly from the turbine stations, so no additional power source is required to add this accessory. Next slide. Every customer is different, so flexible deployment options allow customers to get only what they need today, knowing it can grow or change over time. All of the Zenitel devices that we've looked at so far can be deployed in a number of different software configurations to adapt to each individual customer's needs. For simple deployments at the edge, Zenitel IP intercoms or horns can be easily configured as SIP devices connected to an existing telephone system or as an independent IC edge system, which provides a feature-rich but very simple intercom or PA system for up to 64 IP devices. It does not require any central server or other centralized infrastructure. These edge-based solutions are perfect for small to medium businesses or for customers who have many smaller locations. If a more robust system is required, we layer in the ICX AlphaCom enterprise communication platform, which can be specifically tailored to the customer's business and operations. The ICX AlphaCom software provides centralized management for larger enterprise systems and enhanced cybersecurity features. What's great is that AMAG Symmetry Integration is available at either of these layers, at the edge or in the enterprise platform, with integrations available for both AlphaCom and IC Edge. So with Symmetry Audio, any customer can take advantage of integrated security communications, regardless of the size of their system. Next slide. We've made it super easy to get started. Zenitel's Video Door Entry Kit provides a complete video intercom solution, one door station and a master, that are delivered pre-programmed and ready to install. The stations are configured as a simple IC Edge system, scalable to 64 units, and ready to be integrated to Symmetry. With this easy starter kit, every single building or facility can enjoy intelligent and integrated audio communications in a quick and easy package. With that, I'll go ahead and turn the microphone back over to Kim.
Thanks, Kelly. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat box. The marketing team has been busy developing new collateral to support our resellers and consultants and provide more information for our end users. Today, I'm excited to announce that we have a new web page highlighting our Zenitel audio solutions. There you will find more information about Turbine, AlphaCom, and the IC Edge. We've also updated our Symmetry Intelligent Communications datasheet, which provides more technical information about our audio solutions. You will also find that on our audio webpage. If you're interested in learning more or getting some training, please visit the Zenitel website. Zenitel has several training options, from videos to classes to e-learning, to help you learn everything you ever wanted to know about Zenitel audio. visit zenitel.com/learning. That's a good place to start. So let me see if we have any questions. Okay. Let's see. We've got one here. It says, can the wave/no-touch sensor be field added to existing equipment such as the TCIV2?
Great question. Yes, the answer is yes. That touchless sensor is specifically designed to work with our turbine call stations. So even our legacy or older models can be adapted, or the touchless sensor can be added. It's a simple add-on. Like I said, you don't need any external power. You just connect it to the 5-volt power output on the back of the station and an input that will simulate the button being pressed.
Thank you, Kelly. I think this one is for Greg. The screens that you were showing when you were presenting, were those all default Symmetry screens? And which versions of Symmetry work well with the Zenitel audio solutions?
Yeah, so it is a license add-on that is needed, but it is with that license add-on adds it. It works with all current versions. Now the IC Edge is a newer integration, so that would need 9.3 with a patch. But the AlphaCom and ICX has been around for much longer than that.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. We've got a couple more here. Are the turbine video stations capable of being used outdoors?
I'll take that one. Absolutely. All of the turbine lines, whether they're audio or incorporate the video, are all rated IP66 for outdoor installations. So they're dust-proof and waterproof and perfect for extreme weather or extreme temperatures. You can put them pretty much anywhere.
Thank you. Let's see. Is there any required licensing for the integration of the platforms?
Good question. I'll go ahead and take that first, and then I'll toss it over to Greg. On the Zenitel side, the IC Edge integration, the smaller edge-based solution, has no licensing requirements to integrate into Symmetry. Once you graduate up to the ICX AlphaCom platform, there is a one-time license for that integration that is based on the size of the system.
And on the Symmetry side, there is an Intercom integration license that is needed as well.
Thank you. Okay, the video phone looks like a standard office phone. Can it be used for both the intercom system and the phone system? That's an interesting one.
Great question. You're absolutely right. Whoever submitted that, very observant of you. We have actually intentionally used a SIP phone platform for the development of our own video master stations. That way, that telephone can be adapted to work directly with our intercom systems or work directly with your existing telephone system, or both. The master station actually has multiple accounts that can be registered. So even if your phone system and your intercom system are not directly connected, the phone, or I should say the master station, can effectively straddle both systems. You can have a custom ringtone for telephone calls that are coming in and something different for intercom calls, which would be more security related.
Thank you. One more question. Can intercom calls be recorded?
Yeah, also a really common question today, although what we're seeing is a lot of interest in recording audio and whether it can be done, but not too many customers actually implementing that yet. Obviously, the legal ramifications around recording audio are somewhat complex, and they vary from state to state. But having said that, there is an audio recording solution available from Zenitel. It's a separate piece of software that gets installed on a PC server so that you have access to a hard drive, of course, for storage. And that can record all of the audio back and forth between both stations in a call, as well as any PA announcements or emergency announcements that get broadcast.
Okay. So I think that's it for the questions. Thank you to Greg and Kelly for an informative presentation. As always, thanks to Greg D for running things smoothly behind the scenes. If you have any questions, please reach out to your local AMAG salesperson and we can set up a meeting with you. And as always, the full webinar and all of our previous webinars are on our YouTube channel. The URL is on your screen there on the lower right. As soon as we end this webinar, a short survey will pop up in your browser. Please take a moment to fill that out so we can make sure we're always delivering the best information on these webinars. Thank you for joining, and please join us again for our next webinar on June 15th at 1 o'clock Eastern or 10 a.m. Pacific. Have a great rest of your day.